Hello, Dominic here from the Bournemouth Writing Festival. I am looking forward to welcoming you to Bournemouth Town Centre on the 26th, 27th and 28th of April 2024. Now, we have over 80 different writing events and activities happening over those 3 days, and most of them are paid for, but some of them are free. So I just wanted to highlight some of the things that we're doing where you don't have to pay a single penny. You can just come along and enjoy it. So the first thing is Writing on the Beach with Chris Aziz, and that is going to be to the east of the pier. You can just turn up and hopefully be inspired by the sand, the sea and the blue sky, and you can jot down some words or poems or whatever you want and put it onto Chris's giant washing line. We also have a poetry hub in the Avenue Shopping Centre, and you can turn up there and take part in any of our family-friendly poetry activities, which is being curated by the Winchester Poetry Festival. And then in the bandstand in the lower gardens, we also have two free activities. The first one is the stanza room, where we will have old-fashioned typewriters where you can clack away and write a poem or whatever you want under the watchful eyes and guidance of Mark Rutter and Judy Waite from the University of Winchester. And we also have Beth Calverley. She is bringing her poetry machine along to the festival this year. And you can go up to Beth and tell her a little anything about yourself, and she will write you a free poem. So there's a few little things for you to get your teeth into for free. Just head over to the activities and networking page on the website to find out some more information about those. Now, today, I'm delighted to welcome Chloe May. She is the Customer Services Manager at Troubadour Publishing. And Troubadour Publishing offer authors various routes to get their books out into the world. And one of their subsidiaries is the Book Guild. Now, I know of a couple of authors down here in Dorset that publish their books through the Book Guild, and I'm delighted to say those two authors will be joining Chloe at her talk on Saturday. So hello, Chloe.
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for having me.
Nice of you to be here. So your talk, along with Steve Couch and Jude Hayland, is called Self-Publishing versus Partnership Publishing, an Author's View. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about Troubadour, and perhaps a little about how you work with Steve and Jude and authors like that.
So I've worked in publishing for about 8 years now, and I've mainly been in editorial roles. But a few years ago, I made the move up to Leicestershire, which is where Troubadour is based. And I originally started working there as a publishing manager for the Book Guild. So the Book Guild, as I say, is a subsidiary of Troubadour Publishing. It's a separate company entirely, but we are based at the same offices. The Book Guild mainly specialises in partnership publishing, sometimes known as hybrid publishing. We do also do some mainstream publishing as well. And Troubadour specialises in self-publishing. And earlier this year, I made the move from the Book Guild to the customer services role at Troubadour. So I have a knowledge of both sides of the business, both processes, both different publishing arrangements. So hopefully I can offer some insight on that. I first started I've worked with both of these authors. So Jude, I've mainly worked, Jude Hayland. She's an author who's self-published 4 novels with Troubadour Publishing and 1 collection of short stories. Her most recent novel, The Odyssey of Lily Page, was released in November 2023. Alongside her writing, she's also an author ambassador for Troubadour Publishing. So she talks to authors who are considering self-publishing with Troubadour about all their different options. And I mainly work with Jude as in her capacity as an author ambassador. And I worked with Steve when his first book, Dead Man Singing, came through to the Book Guild. Dead Man Singing was published in 2023 on a partnership arrangement with the Book Guild. And Steve has also recently signed up to work with the Book Guild on his second book called Foul and Fair, which is coming later this year.
Brilliant. I actually went to Steve's book launch at Chaplin's, and I've read his book, Dead Man Singing. So tell us a little bit about what the three of you are going to be covering in your talk.
So earlier in the day, Troubadour is hosting another event, which is talking all about the sort of different routes to publication and highlighting them. But this session is really designed to take an author's perspective on it. It's all well and good, the people who work at the companies telling authors about it, but it's useful to get an author's insight into why they chose the route that they did, whether they do it again, what their recommendations would be to authors considering it. And we'll also talk about things related to their writing journey so far, their route to getting published, their experience of being a published author so far, and what they'd sort of advise authors looking at these sort of different routes to publication. Sort of at the start of the talk, I'll probably give a brief overview about who we are and what we cover for what we do for the people that weren't perhaps in the earlier session. But there's no need you're welcome to come to both sessions, but it's not essential to have come to the first session. You will get a good overview and a good perspective from both authors at the same time. And obviously I'll also hopefully open it up to the room to get some questions and answers, get some questions for Steve and Jude, because obviously they have the greatest perspective on their experiences and hopefully can shed some insights.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be so important to hear the author's perspective and the author's journey as to how they worked to view and what are the kind of pinch points for them and where they struggled and where you supported them and, you know, where it was easy and stuff like that. So, you know, and I think it's really important because so many authors are still undecided whether they're going through the self-publishing route or whether they're going through trying to get an agent and go through the traditional route. And you're talking about a hybrid possibility as well. So I think it'd be really interesting to not only understand all the different routes, but also, as you said, hear from the people that have gone through it and been there, done it, and got the t-shirt and done the book launch.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of it's a lot of confusing messaging out there, particularly even for really experienced authors, and it can be hard to know where to stand. I think the point of the session is we want to get across is there's no right or wrong way in doing things as long as you've done your research and you feel comfortable in the sort of what you're agreeing to and what your plan is. There's no sort of right or wrong way to get to be published. And I think when we've done similar talks like this in the past, what some feedback we've had is what an optimistic talk it is, because it does give other options to authors that might be looking at the traditional publishing route and have so far been unsuccessful, or perhaps they just have a really niche book that might not be suited to a traditional publisher. So it's something that we've heard is just sort of uplifting and hopefully inspiring talk for people to hear.
Great. And who would you say would be the ideal kind of people to come to this tour? I imagine it's probably quite a wide spectrum of complete beginners that are just starting their journey through to those who have finished a manuscript and maybe already self-published before or have been traditionally published before. So yeah, so who would you say would be the most ideal person to come to your talk, and what would their takeaways be?
I think it could be suited to any to authors in all stages of their journey. Perhaps you're an experienced author looking at sort of different routes to publication. Perhaps you've self-published or been traditionally published before and are now looking at perhaps self-publishing if you've been traditionally published before, or perhaps you'd like the backing of a partnership or hybrid publisher that you might have struggled to have as going it purely alone. We always say at Troubadour that our authors like to do it alone but not be left alone. They like to feel supported by people, and I think that's sort of what we aim to achieve. But as I say, newbie authors would be welcome as well. It would be suited to them as well. Most of our authors, they do come to us at the point that they have a finished manuscript and they're sort of ready to go. But it can also be for authors who are still in the editing process or still working towards having that manuscript that they want to proceed with.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm very grateful for you and Alex to be coming all the way down from Leicester to our writing festival on the South Coast. Hopefully you can have an ice cream and sit on the beach if it's nice weather as well. So Chloe May's talk, Self-Publishing versus Partnership Publishing, an Author's View, together with Steve Couch and Jude Hayland, is on Saturday the 27th of April at 3 o'clock at Pavilion Dance. And Chloe and Alex will be in the foyer of Pavilion Dance all through Saturday. So if you do have any questions or want to go and speak to them about anything that you've heard about today, then they will be there all of Saturday. So thank you so much, Chloe, for joining me today.
Thank you, Dominic.
And for the rest of you, I really look forward to seeing you over the weekend of the 26th, 27th and 28th of April. And buy your tickets now on the website. Take care of yourself.